Crowder put out another video? Well, shoot, we gotta watch this. Another one.
They don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit. Come over.
So he recorded the conversation. Oh no, he's gonna play the He recorded the conversation with Jeremy from Daily Wire. Oh my gosh. So if anybody's not up to date, the other night we watched Steven Crowder's first video. It's called like this has to stop, and it was about stop Big Con. And nowhere in the video does he say Daily Wire, but everybody, all the quartering, Tim Pool, there was even talks about Jordan Peterson made a tweet, and then the tweet got taken down and removed, and so Jeremy from the quartering was implying that Jordan Peterson had been told by the Daily Wire he had to remove it, and everybody was like saying it's the Daily Wire that he's talking about. Now, Steven never said who he was talking about in the video. He mentioned the Blaze, but he said, I'm not talking about the Blaze. Everybody just jumped on the Daily Wire. So then Jeremy Boring, or whatever his name is, from I guess the owner of Daily Wire. I think Ben Shapiro started the Daily Wire YouTube channel, and then maybe this Boring guy bought it from Ben, and they got together to start this new network thing, the Daily Wire Network, which is currently on its fourth movie, because it's trying to be a competition with Netflix. It's on its fourth movie with a female protagonist. So they have something against men being good guys in the movies. In fact, not just female protagonists, but the bad guy is always a male. It's either a white guy shooting up a school, or it's a white drug addict who she doesn't want to see his kid anymore, and so he locks her in the room, or it's in the superhero movie, there's not a white antagonist guy, but the hero is again a white girl with her brother, who is a black guy, and their brother and sister. But anyway, and that's Daily Wire. This is the conservative alternative to Netflix, right? Which, if these were actually good movies. Get Out was a good movie, and Shut In, or whatever, Closed In or Locked In, the one with the girl and the cat, it was a good movie. I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm just saying, how are you going to be the conservative alternative to Netflix when all your movies are just like Netflix? They're feminist. You got to make sure that there's mixed race relations in the movie. All these things that conservatives are tired of, that stuff being put in movies. Not because we don't want no black people in the movies. I just don't know why we always have to meet these quotas. We got to have a mixed race couple. We got to have a homosexual couple. We got to have a lesbian couple. We got to fill out all these things. Rated PC. Yeah, and the movies, these movies aren't the conservative deal right now is men need to toughen up, right? So I want to see, if you're a conservative alternative to Netflix, I want to see strong men, strong Christian men going to war. I want to see a movie like The Patriot from Mel Gibson. I don't even care. I don't care what race they are. I don't care if it's a strong black man, but all their movies are about these evil men, these white school shooter boys coming into the school, and the girl's got to save the day, or the drug addict husband who she doesn't want to see the kids anymore. She's trying to keep them from the kids. And so his friend, who's also a white man, comes in, and she's got to hide, whatever,
Baba Booey.
So we just lost the monetization on this video, but anyway. But where am I getting at? So anyway, Steven never mentioned Daily Wire, but Daily Wire came out. Jeremy from Daily Wire put an hour-long video out that I watched the whole thing last night, and went through the contract and said he was talking about us. This was us, and here's why our contract was good. And I don't know. I'm not at this pay grade. I don't know how these contracts. I've never had any sort of contract. I don't know what a contract looks like. I've never been given a contract. I've never written a contract. So I the way the dude explained it, although the video was very boring and is like whatever. And then Steven's video, I really didn't understand entirely because I'm not at this pay grade, But I get the points. Steven's mad about the contract being offered, and then they're saying our contract isn't that bad. This is a normal contract. He's supposed to negotiate these things with us. And so not knowing about that sort of stuff, I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. I'm going to tend to lean towards Crowder just because of my bias on content. I like Crowder's content more than Daily Wire's content, but I do like some of the people from Daily Wire. But I also call out the mess where there's mess. But let's see. So now Steven's replying again, and he's got a recording of the conversation. This is going to be interesting.
And make a salary and grow their brand. They could be wage slaves for a little bit. They could be wage slaves for a little bit.
Wage slaves?
God bless the Talk Boy. Those things are worth like $5,000 now. It's an expensive gag.
Talk Boy. That's what Macaulay Culkin had in Home Alone.
So didn't want to have to do this, but Daily Wire outed themselves.
Right. That's one thing I don't like about Crowder is since the live chat ended. I was listening to Crowder when there was a live
very
chat.
quickly. And sure enough, if you see all of the people who work there, some of whom I have relationships with, they immediately tried to make this all about money. Here's the problem. There are a few problems. And I'll go through with some receipts.
I don't know anything about that.
Everything that was said about negotiations, how they transpired,
I don't know,
beyond a numerical value,
to.
which is true, and I'll get to.
What happens Friday?
Everything else is untrue. I don't really want to get into that. It's completely irrelevant. Here's why. Go back to the 20-something minute video, 30-minute video. You've never heard me say or write anywhere online that these offers weren't paying enough money. Why? Because it's not about the money. It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money. I'm talking about a country. I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about making a difference. It's not about the money. And Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. How do I know they know that? Because after, according to what he said, I walked away from the offer. I did place one more call
Sabbath, we're gonna kill
to the Daily Wire
for you.
And I made it very, very clear that it wasn't about money. That was not the topic of conversation. There was zero, as they've tried to portray this, miscommunication. It was one last call where the only thing that I asked for, my only demand, was their word, and not even for me, but for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts.
Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say it's some other kid you're paying six figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
And here's something else. I was also very measured. I was painstakingly clear in taking myself off the table because it wasn't going to be a right fit. That happens in business all the time. But that we weren't talking about me. We were talking about the futures of other people who could potentially be in that position, that very disconcerting position. No miscommunication.
What I'm talking about is you're describing a model for everyone, not just, let's get rid of me here. Everyone, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube, because your business model requires that be a huge component of it, you need to change your business model or this movement cannot work, Jeremy. I can't imagine my show trying to come up and be beholden to YouTube advertiser guidelines.
Right.
Let alone, honestly, being beholden from a conservative entity with hard strikes, right? Being removed, but let alone being advertiser friendly. We know how broad those guidelines are. They might as well just read.
It's one thing to keep from getting your channel hard striked and shut down. That's pretty easy to avoid, to be honest. And I mean, you signed the terms of service, and if you read it and you read the stuff that you're signing and the things you're agreeing to when you're monetizing all that stuff, it's pretty easy to keep from getting the hard strikes and the permanent channel removal. Although it's also easy to slip up too, because even if I'm talking about, I could be reading some news articles that I don't know that I'm not supposed to be reading yet, and I'm just reading an NBC article, or I'm just reading something from the CDC, like especially when they do things like well, I'm trying to keep this video monetized, but when stuff like the pandemic happened, information got really cloudy, and it was you could get your channel taken down on accident by reading something from the CDC, and that's. But so what I'm saying is the keeping your channel around, that's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to not get the hard strikes and not get your channel taken down. But I wouldn't say pretty easy, but it's not super hard. Okay, but what I'm getting at is for the monetization, to keep monetization, once you get to a certain level, once you get to 10,000 subscribers in that range, and they see that you're monetized and you're saying things they don't want you to say, when the advertisers, every video you're getting hit with the yellow $sign, like most of my live streams, all my live streams pretty much get hit with the yellow $sign. Over time, they'll just say, let's just take his, because he's mainly doing live streams, right? He's getting big. Let's just take his monetization. We're still going to monetize the videos for YouTube and for advertisers. We're still going to play ads on the videos. The money's just not going to go to him. And the fact that in the contract from the Daily Wire, they're trying to say if you get demonetized on YouTube, then you basically get demonetized out of your contract from us to some extent. That's kind of ridiculous, because the whole point that we're going to Daily Wire and we're going to Blaze and we're going to these Cozy or whatever you can get like signed to, whatever bigger organization you get signed to, is basically saying, look, I know I'm going to be demonetized because of the stuff I'm saying. But I need to make money somehow. So I'm signing to you so that you can help me. You can pay me a little bit, but I'm under you. But yeah, you're not going to stay demonetized on YouTube. And if they have that in their contract, then they are working with YouTube and big tech. They're complying. They're bending the knee. Because no true conservative commentator is going to stay monetized on YouTube at 100,000 subscribers. It's not going to happen. It just won't. I wonder if Tim Pool is still monetized. All the like Slightly Offensive, Fleckus, Crowder, none of them are monetized. Candace Owens wasn't monetized when she got picked up by Daily Wire. Crowder's setting a precedent, really. Yeah, I think I got to take his side in this one.
Don't say anything offensive, and they change them at the drop of a hat.
I'm not suggesting that the guidelines aren't terrible. I'm suggesting that if making money off of those platforms is part of how you're justifying the salary you're paying someone, then or the fee I keep saying salary, the fee you're paying someone, then when those go away, everybody loses money. You can't pay the same amount with less revenue.
How about you create a different business model?
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Of course, telling some.
Right, because Daily Wire's making its money off its subscribers. Same way Steven made his money off his mug club, which was through Blaze. So I thought the whole point of Daily Wire was that people had to pay to be subscribers. So they're already getting that revenue. They have 900,000 subscribers to Daily Wire. How much is it a month? I tried to sign up with Daily Wire once or do a free trial thing so I could watch one of the movies. Ended up having to bootleg it. Sorry, Daily Wire. I got a bootleg from my fellow conservatives. Because Cause yeah, that's just how I work. I ain't paying for no movie. Come on now. Ugh, ain't got time for that. It's 2023. Who's paying for movies?
Someone else, hey, change
Unless
your
I'm
business
seeing it
model.
in a
I
theater.
get it.
Now, if I could have gone and saw What a Woman Wants or Candace Owens' documentary in the theater, I would have went and saw it.
I'm in no position to say that unless, instead of Monday morning quarterbacking it, here's the thing. I didn't just offer criticisms. I offered a guide on how to. Here's the deal. I want to sit at the table with people who, granted, have an immense amount of power and have incredibly deep pockets. That is all true, to be clear. And by the way, it's something that I want to have on our side of the aisle. But I offered a guide on how to do it. It is incumbent. This is what this is about. Conservatives, if we believe what we say, to uncouple, to divest, if you want to use that term, from big tech, right? For the business models of the movement as we move forward, to not rely on playing ball with Facebook and with YouTube. That is something that we have to move toward.
Right.
You know that we've been trying to do that here for years. That's why every single show we say, hey, if you can watch on Rumble, please do so. We're not looking to be banned on YouTube, but at least we certainly won't compromise the truth.
Stay monetized.
In order to be advertiser
He's already
friendly.
not, but I'm talking about.
Here's the thing, Daily Wire, Jeremy, and I really do hope that we can talk at some point. Please, you can pick up the phone. We've done that. We here have found a way to make that work. For proof, see election night, our numbers on Rumble there, and see the numbers on Rumble when we get suspended from YouTube. I think it was 4 times this last year, and I went to great lengths to communicate.
It's also hard when you're doing like a 5-hour stream and you're just talking, or a 10-hour stream and you're just talking. And if I get on a topic and I just go into a rant and I start talking about it, I don't know. It's easy to slip up and say something you're not supposed to say on YouTube. It's a mess.
Communicate that to the people at Daily Wire.
There can be no next me if the people at the top with the financial resources are doing the bidding. That's being the arm of big tech. What you just said is, well, we have to play ball with big tech if we want to make money. Well, I don't. Why don't you guys follow a model like I have and scale it? That's what I've been doing since 2014. You know that. Has been trying to make sure, which I thought we were all doing, that we can all flip the bird to Silicon Valley. This is saying we need him and you need to play ball.
And by the way, before some of you ask for this, look, there's always personal information on phone calls. And for the record, I've recorded 3 people on phone calls in my life. All 3 are involved with big tech. Just to be clear, the entire call transcript has been sent to others to verify without hopefully having to release the whole thing. And I'll be on Tim Pool's show, I believe, on Monday to talk about it. Now, this is something else that's been brought to my attention. Look, some people have been sent out from Daily Wire and have gotten very personal. Obviously, when we released this video, we didn't name names, and I told you there are a lot of people in the space who have made offers, and it is true. There are quite a few, and there are some others that have been pretty similar to this. This isn't an incredibly unique scenario, but there have been some good people out there too, and we're still talking with them. So I do know that some people from Daily Wire have come out, maybe been instructed to. I have no idea. I don't care. And they've gotten very personal. I don't want to do that.
Okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
But now it's
I've been to this place like 4 times and I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to click.
These are the only
and it was that
personal things I will say about the people at Daily Wire. Andrew Klavan is one of my favorite people of all time. He has an unbelievable skill to make you feel like the smartest guy in the room, even though I guarantee you he's smarter than you. There are very few people.
I even like Candace Owens to some. I liked her a lot more before when she was independent. As soon as she went with TPUSA, I started liking her less. And then when she moved to Daily Wire, I stopped listening to Candace altogether. And I haven't watched the BLM documentary because nothing new was said in that. There's nothing new possibly that could have been said in that documentary that everyone didn't know if they did any 2 seconds of research. The only thing that she like exposed was that they were giving money to let's say transformer agendas. A lot of the BLM donations were going to transformer agendas, which I didn't know that, but I could have guessed that. I could have guessed that pretty easily. But I knew that they were giving money to Democrats. I knew that they were buying mansions. Patrice and all them were buying mansions. I knew they wanted to they were trained Marxists. They wanted to destroy the nuclear family. Everyone should have known that if they were paying just 2% of attention to the world and looking into things that were pertinent and happening in the world at that time. If you just look into it a little bit, everything that Candace Owens says in that documentary, you would know. And then she's pregnant and going door to door and looking for the BLM people at their houses. That's like, I get how a lot of people were like, that's awesome, that's cool, respect, Candace. I don't really respect that. It's, I guess, it makes for good content, but yeah, I don't need to see that. But yeah, what is a woman? Also, again, a feminized version of what is a man. Another problem I have with Daily Wire is it's just feminine. It's very feminine. But yeah, I watched What is a Woman through reaction videos on YouTube. CO spits facts. Candace Owens spits facts. Yeah, from a script given to her by Ben Shapiro, and before that, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Flat Sabbath. If I want to watch a token black woman say Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro's talking points, I'll watch Candace Owens. who should probably be taking care of her kids. Why wouldn't I just watch Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk? If I wanted to watch Israel First Neocons, I'll just watch them, you know?
Few people whose company I enjoy more than Andrew Klavan. Jordan Peterson is not only a friend, I would go to the wall for him. He's a guy who has changed the landscape of our country for the better. Can't say enough good things about him. Ben Shapiro is possibly the smartest person I know. That's as personal as I'll get. Now, here's the thing. Only after that final call, after negotiations had fallen through, pleading on the side of principle and knowing that it was completely met with deaf ears, did I come out like I did? See, here's the thing. They keep talking about a business. Well, I walked away from the table because I'm talking like it's about a country, about a movement. And this is the thing. The response that I've heard over the years, it's not just now. I've been doing this for a long time. You constantly hear, it's just business. It's just business. Well, guess what? It's not to me. Sure, I run a business, but it's not just business. And let me ask you, when have you ever heard someone say it's just business when they're doing the right thing? Ever hear someone give $250,000 to charity and say it's just business? And here's something that I would like to ask you, because I know that they've tried to play the identity politics and misrepresent the whole financial situation. But yeah, over the course of 4 or 5 years, the total operational budget, meaning 25, 30 employees, all of the costs, security, health insurance, would have been somewhere in the $50 million ballpark.
Have enough money
for that total operational budget. That is true.
So a player owns all this.
First off, I think we're generating far more than that. It'd be better than just Disney and just Netflix and just Hulu Plus. And I'd like the people who are in charge of that to be people who are willing to walk away from that if it comes with strings attached, with people who hate everything you stand for. So let's take that at face value, okay?
When theories are provable.
I want you to ask yourself this question.
True. Am I stuck in here?
Put yourself in my shoes. What would it take? How much do your principles matter to you? What kind of a headspace would you have to be in to walk away full stop from $50 million?
Evolution is a belief. That's true, but
let me ask you
evolution is not scientifically provable.
What would it take for you to be willing to walk away from at least $50 million because of it causing harm?
Whereas gravity is.
to someone else. It doesn't even affect you.
It's testable.
But the next kid.
Evolution is not testable. Evolution is
I've talked about this. You know, you have it in comedy. I'm never going to be the guy who pulls the ladder up after me. What motivates me is not money. Of course, everyone here likes nice things. They want to make a living. You've heard me say this many times. I want to pass the torch. I want there to be someone else to do this. It can't happen if this is how our movement is structured. And you know that, by the way, this could do irreparable damage to the movement, the country, and the people who've fought so hard for the ground gained if we've decided to get in bed with these people who want to strip it away. I'm asking, would you walk away? What would it take for you to walk away from $50 million? Because it's true. That's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I'm doing. And so long as these contracts out there include enforcement of big tech, of punishing conservative creators on behalf of the people we claim to fight and the people who have long since demonetized us and can't stand me, and part of me doesn't blame them. As long as these contracts include that, not even for me, but the next person, I wouldn't take $1 billion. And certainly not if you understand in context, when behind closed doors, I know, and these people know, and acknowledge exactly what's being done to the next generation of creators.
Bench talent, young talent, they don't get deals like this.
So they don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand.
That you then own.
Well, I own parts of it. I don't own it. They can, when their contract's up, they can still go out and they'll still be famous. They can keep doing their shows, so go do a show somewhere else. They'll be in a far, far, far better place. You helped make them.
No, not long as this contract. This contract owns it in perpetuity even after the contract. You're paying a lease but getting ownership. That's what this contract reads.
On the content that we paid to produce, yes.
You know, look, I understand there are going to be differing opinions on this. I understand that. As someone who does run a business and has to 20, I think maybe 25 employees, I don't know, we're expanding. I understand people run businesses differently and have different priorities. Here's the thing. I would genuinely still, Daily Wire, Jeremy, love to sit down at the table and explain to you how you can make all of this work, how you can scale what we do and not have to be beholden to the people who we all go out and claim that we're fighting, and especially with all of the financial resources that you have, which, by the way, are very impressive. And by the way, since fielding requests for people who've sent this in who you guys are looking to navigate these contracts, we've been flooded. I'm going to try and get to all of you. But here's the thing. Let me give you my word right now. My word.
Give them your conspiracy theories.
My conspiracy theories. Come on, we got 2 minutes left of this video.
Stamp it, call me on it. Here at Mug Club, we will never take any ownership over your social media platforms or your channels, and I don't want a dime ever of your YouTube revenue. You make your own decision as to whether you want to be monetized or not. Some people want to, some people don't. I just have a problem with requiring that you do and penalizing you if you don't. And to Daily Wire, to the rest of the people out there, give me a call. And look, let me put it this way. If you give me your word, this is all that matters here. Just give me your word that there will never be a clause in a contract again for some unsuspecting kid or someone who doesn't have the luxury to walk away from $50 million, as I did, true, guilty as charged. Give me your word that you will not penalize them 25%.
Just tell me what Bible verse is on his gravestone,
another 20%
I can't find it.
for a strike, another 20% for Facebook, Spotify, Apple, up to 80%. Just give me your word that that clause, that spirit will not be in any contract sent out to anyone else who's at the front lines fighting for this country, and we're done. All of this stops right now. You will never hear from me again. I will go out and sing your praises. You can pick up the phone. You have my word. That's all it is.
What book?
That's all this is about. In the interim, to everyone else, stopbigcon.com. Be a signatory. I'll see you Monday. Tim Pool.
StopBigCon.com. Psalms 19. Guys, thank you for checking out this clip from the Dreaded Conservative Show every Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the bell so you know whenever I go live, not just for the Dreaded Conservative Show, but for all the game streams and UFC streams and other fun stuff that we do throughout the week. And make sure you comment and share this video with a friend. But until next time, I got a video. I got a playlist. You guys can check those out, but I'm out.